Greetings, this is the instrument sidekick video for flute, clarinet, alto saxophone, trumpet, and French horn. All of them. It's time to learn to read music. Alright, so this is for flute, clarinet, alto saxophone, trumpet, and French horn. Each of them is a different page number. Alright, so hopefully that'll be properly on your link. And it's time to read music. All of you have a page that looks like this, where we got to figure out all the answers to this question, and there's a little space here for us to write something else that I want you to write. Alright, so we've got to learn to actually start reading the music instead of just reading the letters, C's and B flats and D's and whatever. Instead of just looking at a letter, we actually have to get used to what we learned, where the notes are actually on the staff, and we talked a little bit about what those look like. We got to get used to what those are. So this page is a page of terms that I want everybody to know before you go on to the next page. All right, so every one of you, the flute, clarinet, alto saxophone, trumpet, and French horn, all of you will always have one of these at the front of every line of your music. One of these guys right here. It is very, very important, and I'll explain why in a little bit. This is, do you know? Hopefully you know. It is a treble clef. Treble clef. So that's what you're going to write right here. Treble clef. And I'm going to do so too. So you grab a pencil, okay? And you do have to write this in your book, okay? So after you've watched this video and then you go back and watch it a second time, then write it in the book along with me at this moment. Okay? T-R-E-B-L-E space C-L-E-F. Treble clef. Treble clef. Don't make fun of my handwriting. Treble clef. Okay? That is important, and we're going to write something important about it over here in just a moment, but it'll make more sense if we first answer this question. What is this thing? These 5 lines that go across the whole of the music. All right, and there's going to be a treble clef at the front of every one of these things. All right, what are they called? Do you remember? I know you learned in general music class. I know you've learned this. It is a staff. That is a staff. Okay, it's what all our music is written on. And everyone who's here that's using this video has a treble clef staff. And we'll talk about what that is first. So let's write staff down. S-T-A-F-F. Okay? Staff. All right? Now, these 5 lines and 4 spaces, they each have different letter names. All right? So every line and every space is a different letter name for what you play. You've already learned some of those letter names, C's and F's. Okay? You've learned how to play those notes. But when a circle is drawn on a line or a space on the staff, you need to remember that they represent specific notes that you've learned. Those different letters or pitches. Okay, we call the pitches letters. So how high or low as you go up, line space, line space, line space, the sound, the pitches get higher and higher and higher, and the opposite's on the way down. Okay, so the treble clef staff is nicknamed the G clef. So right next to the treble clef, you can also put a little slash and then write G clef. Like so. Slash G clef. And what the treble clef is doing, you'll see it makes a little target symbol right here on the second line and circles the second line where a G is. Okay? So, if I draw that treble clef, that second line is a G. All right. Now, the note above it in the space right there is an A. So I'm going to write that in the space over here so it doesn't get confused with the line right here. So that space there next to, so the second space up, this second line up is a G. Second space up, it's going to go to A. There are no H's in music. So the alphabet in music goes A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So then after G goes an A. So you're going to write A. Broke my pencil. And I broke it again. All right, you're going to write an A right over there. So after the G, one space up is the A. Then the line above that's going to be a B. So I'm going to put a B right there. All right. Then one space above the B will be a C. C. All right. Then one line above that C is going to be a D. So we have A, B, C, D, right? You with me so far? So we got to the D. The space above D is going to be A, B, C, D, E. So we need an E in that space. And one line above that E is going to be A, B, C, D, E, F. So that top line is going to be an F. Now, the space under the G, okay, that's one letter before G. So one way to help you remember that is to go forward in the alphabet till you get to G and then think what was the letter I just said. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G. F was what I just said before G. So the F is the space underneath that G. F. All right. And then the line underneath that F, over here, F. The line underneath that F, A, B, C, D, E, F. E was what I said, so that lowest line is an E. So bottom up, the lines are named E, G, B, D, F, and the spaces are F, A, C, E. Okay? So that spells face. That makes it really, really easy, right? So anytime you see a note, a circle that's in between the lines, you can use the word face to remember which of the letters it is. So if there's a circle right here in the second space up, you'd go F, A. Oh, that's an A. Okay, and that's how you remember what note it is. So over here, we're going to write spaces equal face. All right? Spaces equal... I keep breaking this pencil. F, A, C, E. Spaces equal face. Now the lines are E, G, B, D, F. Now that doesn't spell anything. So what we usually do is we make a phrase where there is a word starting with E and then a word starting with G, B, then D, then F, making a phrase so we can remember that. So usually the most popular when I was a kid was every good boy deserves fudge. Every good boy deserves fudge. I never liked that one because I'm lactose intolerant and I can't have fudge. Fudge is bad for me. So if I was a good boy, I didn't think giving me fudge really seemed like the right thing to do. All right. And also good girls deserve fudge or whatever if they've done good as well. So I never always thought, well, why good boys? So any phrase will work. I've heard elephants go breakdancing Fridays. I've heard empty garbage before dad flips. All right. Whatever works for you. You can make one up as long as it works for you. The one I like best that I tend to use is every good burger deserves fries. Every good burger deserves fries. Because I like my burgers and fries. All right. So over here, you're going to work, either make up a phrase or write one of these phrases where you write a capital, well, first you write lines, equal, all right? Then you write a capital E, all right? And then in lowercase, the rest of the word. So for me, it'll be capital E, and then I'll write the rest of the words, every, then capital G, and then in lowercase, the rest of that word. You know what? I'm even going to underline the E and the G. Like so. Every good burger deserves fries. All right. So that's how I wrote it. But you could have different words as long as you capitalize the beginning of each word and you underline it like that to help you remember. And I will ask you this from now on in every lesson. I'll say, what phrase do you use for your lines? Everybody could use something different, but you still have to have a phrase to help you remember. And then I'll ask everybody, well, how do you remember the spaces? And the answer is the word face. Okay? So we have to all remember that that's a treble clef or a G clef. We have to remember that this is a staff. We have to remember the spaces are F-A-C-E, bottom up, and the lines are E, G, B, D, F for whatever phrase you use. For me, every good burger deserves fries. All right? Now, over here, we have the question, what is a beat? All right. Now, everyone knows what a beat is. You know how to tap a beat. You know how to think a beat. You know how to stomp a beat. You know how to dance to a beat. But very few people think of how you actually tell someone what it is. Okay? And here is the answer. Steady pulse. Steady is spelled S-T-E-A-D-Y, and pulse is P-U-L-S-E. Steady pulse. So a steady pulse is what a beat is. Okay? We have to know that we can't just say it's a note in music, because that's not all what a beat is. Other things have beats besides music. Your heart has a beat. A clock has a beat. Okay? Other things have beats in them. Okay? Now music's a little bit more like your heart, that the beat is steady, but it can be fast or it can be slow, depending on, if you just ran around the room, it's probably a faster beat than if you were lying down for the last half hour, okay? So your beat could be fast or slow, and that's the same with music. The importance is it's steady. It's not fast and slow, then fast and slow, okay? That's not what a beat is. A beat is steady, okay? A steady pulse, all right? So in music, we have to keep track of beats all the time. We have to keep track of beats because that's how we know how long to play notes, okay? How long we play the pitches. So we're going to have notes on the lines and spaces telling us what pitch to play on our instrument, but then how long do we play them? It's always going to be a number of beats. How do we know how many beats to go? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to tap our foot, okay? Tap, foot is the answer to that question. Tap, foot. So your foot is going to tap on the ground all the time. All right? So always, always, always tapping your foot. Tap, 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 tap. Okay? I prefer not to go like this. Okay? Don't keep a beat with your heel. All right? Because then you have to bring up your leg. And sometimes it makes people move their whole body when I want your body to be in good posture and steady. So keep the heel against the ground and raise your toe up and down. And there's less movement to the knee. Okay? See, there's still a little movement, but the other way has a huge amount of knee movement and moves the whole leg, as opposed to a tap with your toes. Okay? Should usually just be one foot. You shouldn't do both feet. Okay? Have one foot keeping a beat. Doesn't matter which one it is, though. Okay? It can be the right foot or the left foot. That doesn't matter. Okay? As long as you're keeping a beat by tapping your foot. And it's steady. So you tap the ground in a very steady pulse. Okay? It can be fast, can be slow, but it must be steady. All right. Two more things we got to go over. In music, right next to that treble clef, you're always going to see this pair of numbers. Okay? I'll actually write it in there a little bit so you can see it's always going to be right next to the treble clef. This pair of numbers will change over time, but you're going to see it as the 2 4s, a 4 over a 4 for a long time at first. Okay, we're going to get you used to this. The name of this is a time signature. Time, that's what you write in the first line. Signature is what you write in the second line. Time is spelled T-I-M-E. And signature is S-I-G-N-A-T-U-R-E. Time signature. So I will be asking that every lesson. What is that? Time signature. Okay? And what does it mean? Why is this number 4 so important? And the reason is the music is going to be separated into what we call measures. Okay? The staff will go across the page and have a treble clef and a time signature in the front. And then there's going to be these vertical lines called bar lines measuring out the staff across the page, like inches on a ruler, but it goes all the way across each measure. In between each of those measures are going to be 4 beats. 4 beats. So 4 even taps of your foot. So what it's telling us is what's called beats, B-E-A-T-S, per P-E-R, measure, M-E-A-S-U-R-E, beats per measure. Okay? And obviously, this means there's 4 beats per measure. Okay? It won't always be 4 beats per measure, but that is the most common of the time signatures. Okay? The majority of music, like when you're listening on the radio, good luck finding a song that isn't in 4/4 time signature. Okay? You'll find that you'll be able to keep the tap your foot, if you tap your foot to the beat of whatever song you're listening to on the radio, that you'll be able to start counting to 4. If you really feel it, you'll be able to be like, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Lots of counting to 4. All right. So counting to 4 is a big thing in music, and keeping that beat so you can count to 4 with a nice even beat is very, very important. So you do have to tap your foot from now on. So now that you're at this page, all this information I want you to have written down, just like I wrote on this page. All right. You have to have it written down in your page, and I want you to review it, and I want you to memorize all of it. Okay? So we can get to learning how to read the music. We need to know all of these terms and what all of them mean. Okay? That's the first step to being able to read the music. So still keep practicing everything you've practiced up to this page, but now work on making sure you can memorize this page. And every lesson I'm gonna put on the screen. Okay, I'll share my screen and I'll put on the screen a blank version of this page, and I'm going to point with a mouse, and I'm going to point at this, and I'll be say, hey, what's this? And I want everyone to answer treble clef. What's this? A staff. What's your phrase to remember the lines? For me, every good burger deserves fries. And what's the phrase to remember the spaces? The word face. What is a beat? Steady pulse. How do we keep track? Tap foot. What is this? These 2 numbers? Time signature. What does it mean? Beats per measure. I'm going to literally ask that every lesson in that order, every single lesson. All right? And if you don't want the lesson to be spent the whole time talking about this, then have it memorized and ready to answer very, very quickly. Okay? Usually by the end of the year, the students who are really good and work on memorizing this are able to answer those questions, and it takes less than 20 seconds to just review. What's this? Treble clef. Staff. Steady pulse, tap your foot, time signature, beats per measure. Okay, they're ready with those answers and ready to get going with it. Okay, so we can get to the playing part. But I'm always going to review that this year to make sure that you know those terms for your whole life, because they are going to be important for every single lesson, every single band rehearsal, for the entire rest of your life. Each of those things is going to come up. Okay, so you really, really want to know that stuff. So work on memorizing this page. Have it written down so you don't have to watch this video every time, okay? And really start working on memorizing this before you go to the next page. All right? Good luck, and may the force be with you.